welcome back to Greenlands, and we are in January now, and we're just going to be pushing through now to February to get some field work done. You will have seen from the thumbnail we do actually get around to doing some field work, so just feeding the cows and having a really fun time throwing bales about. So I have used all of the grass silage that was in the two fermenting silos, so we are on to using up bales now. I figured I'd use the loose grass bales that are up here first before we open up the clamp that we have. We still have a lot of food on the farm. What I haven't realised, because I'm not used to using a self-propelled feeder. Sorry, just coughed then. I'll edit that out for you. What I had forgotten, because I'm not used to using a self-propelled feeder, is that I can drag the feeder up and shred the bales with that, so I don't need to be doing this, and I do realise in a moment. So if you jumped in the comment section really quickly to tell me that I was being a dumb, thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, it's really nice to have essentially got through the winter and into doing some jobs, because this took quite a long time actually. Basically, I spent most of Sunday feeding animals, selling things, and yeah, just keeping everything going on the farm. It's a plus side is it was the most that I've played Farm Sim continuously in a very long time. So yeah, there was that. I did see that as a bonus. So yeah. I've also started using up the hay bales. I figured that if we're using bales anyway, I might as well use the hay bales as well. So yeah, this is when I realised just drive the mixer in and start filling. I do think that maybe they haven't edited the fill rate. I'm not sure. It sometimes seems a bit slow to me filling from bales, so we'll see. But there we go. We have TMR. Feed the cows. Don't worry, I am not going to show you all of the animal feeding that I do, because there was a heck of a lot of it. Yeah, so we're gonna be buying a few new things today. We're gonna be paying some money off the loan. So yeah, all sorts of fun ahead. So the first thing that we're gonna do, or the next thing that we're gonna do, is sell some of the excess grain that we've got. I think I spoke about this in the atting video that's coming up. So most of the crops that I've grown on here are going towards feeding the animals, but because we're kind of short on wheat, and to make grain mix you need 50% wheat, we can sell off the excess oats and barley that we have. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a trailer load of oats up to the sell everything point that's at the grain mill, get those sold, and then we're going to take some barley as well to get that sold. It's not a big amount of cash, but there's no point us keeping that in stock when we don't have the rest of the ingredients. So I hope I've planned my planting around the fact that this is the case. So I think most of the crops are planted already. The only thing we've got to do is the maize and the beets, which are obviously kind of planted in late spring, I guess, on here. So what we made 62,000 nearly off of the oats, so that was pretty nice, and brought over 20,000 litres of barley to the BGA grain sell point. So we'll get that sold as well. It's not going to be a huge amount of money. You will see that the money is going up. So 15 grand for that. The money is going up consistently, and that's because the BGAs are running. And now we're going to spend some of that money. I want a new truck. And we're going to go in for the Volvo DLC. I think I don't have many trucks installed on here, and we may as well make use of the Platinum expansion that we've got. So that's what we've got at the moment. We've got the Lizard next, which has served us really well, to be fair. It's a nice truck. I'm going to keep it on the farm. You will notice the slightly cheaty truck there, that I can't remember why I had that installed. It was for something that I was doing. But we're going to buy the Volvo VNX 300. I'm going to go for the short version, so that it's hopefully more manoeuvrable to get round. I thought I was going for the short version. I actually seem to have gone for the tandem long version. Oh well. I did a dumb. I actually meant to go for the short version. That's why it was so long. Oh, geez. Yeah, so going for it in the, I love that orange color. It's the same orange as the other truck is. So we've got kind of a fleet of trucks. It's not really that much more powerful. In fact, I don't think it's any more powerful, but it does seem to drive better. It's obviously got a better gearbox in it, I think. So yeah, and I'm finding with, yeah, I definitely didn't go for the short version. Oh well, that was a dumb on my part. So cleared out the eggs, 56,000 litres nearly of eggs. So we're on to the second day of January. And we're going to get these sold. Yeah, I'm finding that having one truck was kind of getting frustrating with selling milk and moving digestate around and that kind of thing. So 2 trucks is definitely worth it. We've got the income coming in that really don't need to worry about spending some of it on equipment. In fact, I might be doing a bit more of that as we get into spring, because there are some other things that I would like to have on the farm. I would like a faster tractor for doing some of the moving around the map jobs and some of the carting jobs. So suggestions for that below. I'm really tempted by a big fast track. One of my favorite tractors, and I'm not using it on anything at the moment. So 117,000 for the first lot of eggs selling. And then another, so like 118 grand selling eggs. So yeah, the chickens are paying back. They are a lot of work. And we've got chocolate to sell as well, because there's a good price on chocolate. You'll see we're 3rd of Jan now, and the money has gone up again. It's selling milk, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like 25,000 in chocolate. So I have been into the XML and reset the bunkers as well, because they'd got to the point where they were stuck. So I went in, changed the, what it was is the front was closed, but the back was open, so I couldn't get any more out. So I changed it so that they were both set to closed or set open to false. And you have to set the state in the XML to 2 as well. And that lets you reopen them, and you can just crack on as normal. So I think I took manure down to the industrial BGA, and then while I was down there, picked up a trailer full of maize silage. So into February now, and to some field work. You will have noticed that the money has gone down a fair bit. So I had meant to record it, and I'll show it to you later instead. I've been having a few OBS crashes lately, and I think it's because OBS is asking me to update, and I haven't updated it yet, because sometimes when you update OBS, it can screw all your settings up. So but I do need to do that. And the plan now is to get all of our grass fields limed, and I'm actually going to plow all of the new ones that we've got. All need ploughing or subsoiling, and I've got this theory in my head. I think because grass grows really quickly, that ploughing and subsoiling with the grassland subsoiler give you the same end point in terms of growth, because grass grows quite quickly. We're going to do a test on that on here. I want to do a proper video on it, and the reason that I want to plough is because we have a lot of ground to cover, and we've got a 6-meter plough that will go whatever, I think it's like 10 miles an hour. Got the Lizard subsoiler GT plough thing on here, versus the grassland subsoiler, which is quite slow. I do like the grassland subsoiler. I think it's a really cool addition, but for the scale that we need to do, I think the answer is to plough it all in. That's what we're going to do. To test it, the little grass area we've got down by the yard, which is under where the courseplay menu is, I'm going to grassland subsoil that at the same time that I replant the grass, so we'll get to see if there is a difference in growth speed. Kind of my theory. So we're going to break the Xerion out because it's a big tractor job. So I'm going to go grab plough and a weight. Just trying to find where I left the weight, I think. Actually, we're going to buy a weight. And I also brought over a stack of grass bales from down by the BGA just to have on hand, because we're using a lot of bales. Use most of the bales that were already at the farm. So yeah, we're going to get a bigger class front weight. I do have a class front weight, but it's configured to be quite light, so we're going to go for the 2.5-ish ton front weight. Not that it's a heavy plow, but I felt like doing that. We're going to go for a fat boy setup on this one, just for a bit of fun, really. So yeah, the bit of grass that I just had that delivered into is the bit that I'm going to use the grassland subsoiler on, just so we can test it. But we're going to put the jewels on as well for some plowing. You can see, if you remember, there were 3 or 4 stacks of bales in the field next to the grass shed, and we're down to 1 stack now, which is why I brought some more over. So putting the weight on the back, I don't know why, I just felt like doing this, and we're going to put the jewels on that we have. So I had jewels to go on here for doing bunker work and that kind of thing, so it kind of makes sense to me for ploughing. And yeah, I do make a slight dumb in this video with the first field that we're working in is currently a grass cover crop, so it is destined to be corn. I shouldn't really have ploughed this in yet. We should have waited until we got an early cut off it for hay or silage. So we're kind of missing out there. But you know, I'm going to replant. I might just leave it now as a bare field now that it's ploughed in. So one of the things, I don't know if you guys remember, the 2 fields on the left here were both arable fields last year, and I'm kind of cycling, although we're probably only going to be doing another year on here, I think, but I'm cycling which fields are our grass fields and which fields are our arable fields. So you can see we do have the lime spreader running on course play, because we have there are 3 or 4 fields I want to get ploughed under, about 6 fields that need liming. So yeah, fair bit of work to do. So we're going to be doing a mixture of me doing things and course play doing things, so just to get things done. And I like having multiple tractors running at once. So yeah, we're going to need to stone pick as well. So a feature of this map is that when you plough, you get large stones. Most maps, I think, you get small stones. I really can't remember. It's been a while since did some ploughing. So we're going to get the rock picker out, and we'll take that down to the rock crusher to make some lime. So more money coming in eventually, because we've got plenty of lime on the farm, particularly using the cheaty lime spreader. Yeah, so we're just going to be doing some field work basically now. It's nice to get through to this point in the year where we can do some work. So I'm going to flash it up in a minute, but I might as well talk about the finance side now. So I got to the point where I think I had nearly 2 million in the bank at the end of Jan or beginning of Feb. And basically, I think I've paid the loan down to £4 million now. So that's a combination of I've been working the BGAs quite hard. So the number of cows that we have on the farm are producing a lot of slurry. And to keep the milk production going, we need to be using that slurry. And rather than putting it on the fields as fertilizer, it goes into the BGA to make digestate, and then the digestate goes into the fertilizer dryer. And then we've got all the generators selling all of the electricity and the methane. So yeah, we're kind of caning in the cash at the moment. Every month I'm taking a huge trailer full of manure down to the industrial BGA. So yeah, everything is just throwing cash in now. So I'm just getting the heading that the spreader is running on, so that I can run the plow on the same heading. I just didn't want to catch up with the spreader basically, so I figured if I was on the same heading it would make it easier. Yeah, so I'm going to flash the screen up in a bit, but I've kind of already spoken about it. I think that we're down to about £4 million on the loan now. The think by the end of this, I'm sitting on about £800,000 worth of clothing. Those disturbed hoodies are worth a lot. But I'm waiting for the best price for those to sell them, which I think is in about April. So my question to you guys is, obviously this is the £10 million debt challenge. I think by summer we're going to have paid off that £10 million loan. My question is, do we just keep going until harvest is over and then see where we are, see how much money we've made, or do I just stop when we've paid the loan off? And I don't know, so it's up to you guys. I may end up putting a poll up once we're closer, but comments below as to what you think is the kind of what you prefer to see. Do you want me to see me run the year, run the cycle out, so we'll go to about whenever beet harvest is, and see how much cash we've made on top of the 10 million debt that we had, or do I pay the loan off and stop? I say up to you guys, really. I don't have a preference at this point. What I'll be doing for now in when we do stop is going down to 2 Let's Plays. So I think Attingham will still be running at that point, and Maple definitely will be. So I've just spotted there's a random bale somehow got in that field. I have no idea how it got there, because it's not one of our fields, but it's clearly one of my bales because it's got my wrap on it. So I think I end up running over and having a look at it. Yeah, I don't know how it ended up over there, but yeah, so my plan, here we go. Here's the finances. So yeah, actually 4.5 million down in debt. So you can see in January we sold 600 grand's worth of milk, 130,000 pounds worth of something, 150 grand's worth of fertilizer, and the BGA made about 600,000 pounds, I think it was. So yeah, 4.5 million to go. Got the rock picker out, so that'll give us some lime to sell. Yeah. Yeah, so what's your preference? So my plan is that I want to go down to no more than 2 Let's Plays. So when this stops, I won't be replacing it unless Attingham has finished already. I don't know which one of those will get. Probably this one will finish first, because Attingham's still got. We've not gone through winter yet for the second year on there. That's only getting 2 years as well. I didn't expect that at this point we would suddenly have got to this position. The addition of Maize Plus has clearly sped things up a lot. The increase in the size of the cow herd has increased things a lot. Adding in the spinnery / tailor production as well. Basically, time-saving stock check is telling me that I'm sitting on a huge amount of money from those clothes. And yeah, I think it's April when that price peaks. It's going to be worth a lot. I think that'll be about £1 million by then, probably, in disturbed hoodies. So yep, yeah, there we go. I'm going to have a quick look at this. I have no idea how it got there. We'll have to go and collect it at some point. I'll have to bring over one of the front loader tractors or something, because it's not our field, but it's one of our bales. Yeah, it's been there a while. Anyway, yeah, getting the rock picking done now. Courseplay is running the Zerion, sorry, over in the field next to us with the plough. The Arian is off lime spreading as well. And yeah, so the first field that I ploughed in, this field, in fact, is due to go to corn. I don't think it's worth planting grass in there now. I don't think we'll get it grown enough to do a cut off of. So we'll just leave this fallow now, waiting for the corn to be planted. The rest of the fields I am going to plant with grass in the next video, so they can be growing. And at the point that I plant grass, I'm going to go subsoil the littler field that we need, that needs ploughing. and we'll see how we get on. I think at this point, I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and YouTube channel members. Appreciate you all supporting the channel. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. So I've been doing a lot of the editing lately. No gameplay yet on the new PC, and it's really quite nice. I think it's a fair bit faster for the rendering, and the main nice thing is it's so much quieter when it's rendering. As someone who is quite noise sensitive, having a quiet PC is really nice. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So thanks for watching and all that kind of thing, because that's how it got paid for. So we are now on the last field. So I had courseplay running on a lot of this. Once I'd done a fair bit, because it took a long time. I've been playing for quite a long time at this point. And, so we have also limed fields 78 and 79. I think 78 or 79, I can't remember which one, is going to maize as well next year. So that's one of our grass pastures last year. That's, I think, a 79 is going to be maize next year. So that will need ploughing in, but I checked. So we're going to leave that one to grow, and we'll maybe get a partial grass cut off it. So that's the hope. You can see they are freshly limed. So yeah, got nearly 17,000 litres of rocks off of the fields as well. That's going to give us a nice amount of lime. I might keep some to replace what we've used. Probably need to lime the mega field again before we because that's going to go to corn. I don't know about buying the more land now. Don't think we need it. And as I say, depending on the audience's preference, we may not go far enough to get to harvest for everything. So I don't think it's worth creating that new mega field. Again, what are your thoughts? Do you want to see me make another mega field? I'm kind of easy either way. Something I do want to tackle in March is that strip of shame. I don't want a Caleb's garden or Caleb's country park in the middle of the field. So I'm going to see if we can stitch in some wheat and see if it grows quick enough to be harvestable. Just because I thought it would be an interesting idea to see if we can stitch in some wheat. It's something that Ollie Blogs does a fair bit. If a bit of the field fails, he'll come back with the seeder a bit later and give it another go. So that's what we're going to do. That'll be March. But next video, I'm going to be replanting all the grass fields. Get those planted and rolled. Then be into March and trying to fix that wheat field and whatever else we can do at that point. So yeah, get this tipped, get this running, and that'll be it. So if you enjoyed this and you enjoyed the progress, click the like button. Comments, questions, suggestions, answers to all those questions below. And if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. And I will see you next time on Greenlands. I may have been a bit premature with that. Now we're good.